everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new, hi, my name is Charlotte and I am a Scottish vlogger slash BBC social contributor. Today is episode 6 of the Junket folder and I genuinely cannot believe that we're here. I know I've said that about every other episode, but I'm just getting amazing guests each and every time, and my guest today is someone that I've worked with before. I've had the joy of working with him and his amazing girlfriend Rebecca, who, stay tuned, is going to be a future guest on the show, and I'm so excited to have her on. She's incredible, and my next guest is just as incredible. My next guest is a photographer who I actually discovered through the social, and without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Please welcome my guest, Omar.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm roasting.
Yeah, it's so warm today. Like, it's funny because it was actually really nice and cool about an hour ago, and then all of a sudden, I think because also the sun, like, it kind of gets to like midpoint at 1 or 2 o'clock. So usually at 12, I'm like, oh, it's nice and cool. So I think today will be a cool day. And then by 1, 2, I'm like, dude, I'm sweating like a lot. And there's no air outside, so even if I open my window, it doesn't do any difference.
No, it's like the winter's decided to take a holiday and there's no breeze,
Yep,
nothing. I mean, we get the
yep,
odd cloud, which saves us for like 20 seconds, then you run
it
to get
does.
where you need to be going.
Yeah, man.
So, how am I finding you today? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just chill. I was watching Grey's Anatomy. I started watching it yesterday. I mean, I watched it already when I was like 14, but I obviously stopped after like season 4 or 5. And I was like, I need to watch something new because I don't know. I've been watching a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'll go back to watching Grey's Anatomy. And I've just discovered there's like 17 seasons now. I thought they stopped 10 years ago. So I started back at like season 1, and everything's so fresh to me. So I don't remember anything. So I've just been doing that and just been doing a lot of different things, like photo and video related. So it's been fairly nice. And yeah, it's just trying to maneuver around all this like COVID stuff.
I think trying to find something to do at the start of COVID was really easy because you had all this free time and you're kind of minded
Yeah,
like you want to try everything. Whereas now we're starting to come out of it and it's like, oh, what more could I possibly have to do? I've done everything that
yeah.
I can think of already. Grey's Anatomy I started watching as well, and I think I made it to like season 3, and then I just kind of it petered out. Um,
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna try and stick with it though this time.
yeah,
We'll see.
it just feels like that kind of show everybody talks about, everybody loves, and I
Yeah,
feel like I need to jump on that bandwagon so that I have something to talk about if it comes up.
totally, 100%. I mean, it's the same thing though. It's just like, yeah, it's just one of the you could just make up some kind of scenario and it would have probably have happened on the show, So yeah, if you've missed anything, just make it up and you'll be you'll be pretty on point with it.
Yeah, I think every character who's had like a near death experience, has been in surgery, has had a baby,
Yep,
didn't know they were pregnant,
yep,
they're related to one of the doctors. It's a weird
yeah.
show, a very weird show. And I think that people that watch it can absolutely agree that it's just quite
Yeah,
strange. But I don't know, I might get back into it.
definitely, man. We'll have something to talk about.
So today you're my sixth guest on the show, and I'm
Nice.
very flattered that you agreed to come on and to be a part of it. Because I've always loved your content. I love your photography. For those who
Thank you.
don't know, Omar is an amazing photographer. He and his girlfriend Rebecca have. You have a business, like a company that you do photos for basically any occasion. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about that before we get into the questions?
Yeah, well, I mean, something, I actually started doing filmmaking first before photography. So I started like, I think I was 21 years old. I started doing video. I was doing like music videos for rappers, and and that's kind of how I got into photography because I was doing all these videos, and I guess one day I was starting to get a bit bored of doing the video stuff because I was doing a lot of it. It was like I, as soon as I did my first music video, I just like all these rappers started messaging me. So every week I was doing a music video, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, this is starting to become something that, although it's fun, like I want to do something with a camera where I can just go out and do it without any stress of having to, edit for someone else and stuff. So I started doing photography, and I started learning how to do photography, and I started really falling in love with photography a lot. And then every time I did filmmaking, I would also have photography attached to it. So I work a lot with an artist called Honor, and I've done all his music, well, a lot of his music videos, and whenever he does a tour, I'm always there doing like photo and video content. But the video stuff is mostly stuff that I do for work to get paid for, whereas the photography, I don't really get many jobs for photography, and I think that's why I love it so much, because there's no stress of money and having to make sure someone's happy with it. So I think that's why, like, it's funny because a lot of people don't realize. Oh my God, someone fell.
What were you saying?
But yeah, so a lot of people always assume that I don't do video work, but it's just because I never actually post any of my video work on my Instagram, because I think with my Instagram, I just want to keep it photography related, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, I do like a lot of portrait stuff, and wedding photography. I started doing that. I mean, I've always done wedding photography, but me and Rebecca started doing it like properly together this year. But yeah, most of my photography is pretty much portraits or landscape, because I mean, I like taking photos of people, because I just like people. I like meeting people and stuff. So it's always nice to get take portraits and everything. But I like going away, to like the countryside a lot. And whenever I'm there, it's always me and Rebecca were there together. Whether it's Glencoe or Isle of Skye, I just find those places so amazing. It's like so breathtaking. And the scenery is just gorgeous. So I've always found myself loving taking pictures. I just like sitting down on the hill and just taking a photo, just chilling there. You know what I mean? So whenever I look back at my photo, I'm like, man, I had that feeling. So I always have a feeling associated with like any of my photos. But yeah, a lot of people think that I take like photos for a living, but I actually don't. I just do it for fun. All of my work comes from video stuff, and I think it's important to be able to do the both, at the same time. Especially now that everyone's just able to do two in one. So yeah.
That's amazing. And I just have to say, Cameron and I were invited to come and have some photographs taken by Omar and Rebecca.
Yeah.
For their website, and I will not lie when I say it was the funniest photo shoot. I've never been at a photo shoot. What am I saying? It's the only photo shoot, right? The funniest photo shoot I've ever been on. Honestly, if you get to book Omar and Rebecca for your special day, you'll just be like, a lot of photographers are like, oh, do like the fake laugh, like type of thing. You're genuinely laughing like your stomach hurts by the end of the photo shoot, because your face hurts as well. Like, it was just the funniest thing. I think, like, you're so, like you say, you like meeting people. I would say that you're so good with people, and you just, we had just met that day, and I felt super
Totally.
comfortable with you, and I didn't ever feel uncomfortable or vulnerable. I didn't feel like, oh, I don't really want to pose for this guy, or Rebecca, I don't really want to. I just felt so like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. And I saw your shots as you were taking them, and the photos, I'll put some up right now. They are absolutely beautiful. They're honestly some of my favorite photos that I've ever had
Thank
taken.
you. Yeah, I'm glad.
And I can't wait to book you guys for another event, or even my wedding, whenever that will be. If you
Hell yeah, man, of course.
It's a must, obviously. Chicken or beef, whatever, vegetarian, whatever you're having at the wedding. Okay, so I mean, I'm assuming you've seen some episodes of the show before, so you know that it's like a really weird kind of Q&A thing. But again, for me, I like meeting people and I like getting to know people, and I think if you have a platform, this is just a really nice way for people to see parts of you or learn more about you that they can't necessarily get online, or like on
Hell yeah.
or something like that. So we're just gonna get you started off with your first question. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Describe your perfect day.
Oh man. Okay, cool. Right. So I'm kind of a vegetarian now, but I'm going to describe my perfect day pre-vegetarian, okay? So it's a Sunday, and it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've had my shower, I've had a shave, I've used my Molten Brown, body wash, because I like Molten Brown a lot. And I've shampooed my hair as well, so I'm feeling all clean. It's a cloudy day. It has to be cloudy. It's a cloudy kind of dark day. And I've got Netflix on, and I decide, you know what, I'm gonna order like an Uber Eats. So I order McDonald's. I order a Chicken Legend. I order some the crispy strips. I don't know what they call it in McDonald's. Chicken tenders, whatever. Chicken selects. So I order a Chicken Legend. I order 5 chicken selects with barbecue sauce. I order a large fries, and I order it about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got my blinds down, it's really dark, and I'm watching a bunch of movies, and I'm just eating all this food, and then the salt is just like overwhelming. So I grab myself like, a Sprite, really cold Sprite, and I drink that Sprite, and it's super sweet. I need something salty again. And it's just like this back and forth between the two. And then at like maybe 4 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I finished my food. I'm feeling a bit peckish though. What do? I grab some salt and vinegar Pringles. I'm eating the Pringles, and I've got some chocolate as well. I've got Maltesers, a nice big bag of like a box of Maltesers. And then I fall asleep at like maybe 9 o'clock at night. That's my perfect day.
That's the best. That was so visual. And I just want to say, like, Omar has no idea what I'm asking him, but I have to ask, have you asked that question before? Because that literally just came out of nowhere. That was the most thought out perfect day.
No, I'll tell you why I have it so perfect, because I always ask people that question so that I can then show off my answer to show them how perfect my perfect day is. Because they'll be like, I'm not really too sure. I don't know. And then I'm like, well, let me tell you mine. And then I just go for it, So that is my perfect day. But if it was like a day where I want to go out and do something, I'd probably go to the Highlands, maybe like Luss or something, and just spend the day there, fresh air, go for like a nice hike on a hill or something, and then come back and then have my McDonald's, my Chicken Legend.
That's amazing. Yeah. I don't want to ask anymore. That's the best. Like that's the best answer. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, right. I'm just kind of firing them out here because I feel like
go for it.
We've got a good rhythm going. Okay. List 5 things you would take with you on a deserted island.
Oh man, this is good. I always ask people these questions. I would take Rebecca with me. She has to come with me, because Rebecca is actually, although she's very quiet, she's also hilarious when she's funny. She is really, really funny. So I take Rebecca with me. I take a knife so that I could cut things, like maybe like tree branches to make fire so that I could cook. And then, if I need to get some fish, I need to cut the fish, whatever. So I'd have my knife with me. I'd have my phone as well, just because you never know when you might get signal. So you could call for help. I would then I would actually take a book with me and a pen so I could write stuff down, because although I have a camera, the battery's going to die within a day, because mirrorless cameras, like, they're amazing, but the battery life is just terrible. So, I don't want to take 10 batteries with me. And then my last thing I would take with me would be, so like a flint so that you could light a fire. Because I reckon doing this, it wouldn't work. And I don't want to damage my hands in case I get an infection, which I can't treat because there's no doctors on the island. Then I'd have to amputate my hand. So I'd rather just get a flint, the Bear Grylls signature flint. You go like that, and then it lights a fire. Then you could use it, for help, to cook, to survive, So yeah.
I would never have thought of that. I would have just said like a box of matches or something.
Okay.
Have you been able to do it with a flint? Can you actually do
that? I've never used a flint, but I watched Bear Grylls, and I went on YouTube and I typed in how to use a flint. Seems really easy. It's just one thing and then it goes, and you'll never run out, Whereas with matches, if it's windy, you'd use like maybe 50 before it works, and then it's all gone.
So you watch Bear Grylls. Would you ever, if you had to, would you ever drink your pee to survive if you had to?
Apparently that's not the best thing to do, because when you drink your own pee, apparently you get even more dehydrated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the best thing to do.
He tells people all the time.
I know, but he's fake, man. I love Bear Grylls, but dude's talking a lot of mad, like fake stuff. best thing to do, I would say, is get beach water, boil it so that, you know, all the bacteria is gone. And then I would say make some kind of filtration system. So I guess just get some grass and, you know, bark and everything, make a filter system, filter it through that. That's probably the best option. Or just wait till it rains and collect it in a bucket.
Mhm. I'm sensing like I'm seeing a future documentary playing out here where we just put Omar on a deserted island just to see how you would survive and what you would do, because it sounds like you've got a good idea of how things would work, you know?
I would probably cry for like the first week. And then I don't know what I'd do after that. I say all these things now that I'm here in my, you know, I've got my bed behind me, I've got a computer and a laptop, but I think as soon as I'm there, I'd probably like panic and yeah, lose my mind. So let's not do that.
So, what would you say is the closest thing to magic?
Magic. Um, what is the closest thing to magic? I don't know how deep do you want me to go here?
It's your question. You answer it however you want to answer it. It's
I
different.
think
I've asked it.
I think this world is as close to as magic as possible because when you really think about it, and I think about this constantly. So, you know, there are all these I don't know how many galaxies there are on this planet, and supposedly we're the only ones, you know, in the entire universe, right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like there might be more out there, but let's just say we're the only ones, right? We have this planet that's floating in space. It's not falling, it's floating. We have gravity, we have water. Like this world is being perfectly made to, um, you know, to have us on here and to survive. That is magic, man, because you know, you go to any other planets, there's like one little small issue with it, and we just can't live on it because of one little tiny issue. So this Earth is everything is being so perfect for us that we've been able to survive with no issues. You know what I mean? I mean, apart from COVID, obviously, but like it to me that's as close to magic as possible. Like it's unbelievable. It's bizarre. You know what I mean? So that's as close to magic as possible for me. What about you?
Oh, with me. I mean, not to say like I'm copying you, but I love nature and I love trees, and I like being in the forest is like my favorite place to be. Like I'm not a beach person,
Yeah.
like a mountain person. I much enjoy being, in a forest, and I always
Yep.
imagine like, oh, if I, you know, something was chasing after me that was gonna like eat me, like I know it sounds so weird, but I'd like climb a tree and that could probably save you. And that's something that's
Yeah.
part of this earth. It's just something that's there, and they help us breathe. And I look at bumblebees completely differently because I know that without bees, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know the exact kind of science behind it, but I just know from lots of things I've seen on Twitter and the web that if we didn't have bumblebees, we literally, as a species, would not be able to survive. We wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I read that somewhere. I think it might be to do with the whole, you know how they eat the pollen from the plants, and I think obviously because of this, you know, the like trees and plants and stuff give us oxygen, right?
Mhm.
So I think if bees didn't like take the pollen from the plants, I think something would happen to the plants where they get destroyed, and then we'd be. That could be the reason, but you know, it's funny that you mentioned the woods thing because I'll tell you something that for me that was kind of like a magical feeling. So I was in the Isle of Skye with Rebecca, and we were at this lighthouse, and I was up on this hill taking a picture of the lighthouse. And I'm gonna send you this picture. You can put it in here if you want. And I was sitting down, and I was just like, I was just taking photos of the lighthouse. Then I stopped, and I was just staring at it. And I looked to my right, and I saw this sheep right next to me, and its baby was just like drinking milk from the sheep. And I was like, I'm like, yo, like we're so close to each other and this is happening. And I took a picture of it and it was amazing. And I'm like, man, this is so magical that you have sheep here that are just chilling with human beings on the same ground. You know what I mean? It's and like even with cows, you're just walking amongst their zone, and it's such a cool feeling. Every time I'm up climbing like a hill or something and I see cows chilling and sheep and you know like whatever, I'm like, man, this is amazing. This is magic.
I think that I mean, I know like dogs are kind of domesticated and all
Yeah.
that. I think if you have what what you would describe as kind of like a connection or like a vibe with a wild animal, I think that can
Yeah.
be more magical. I love it when, like, I know it sounds daft, I love it when squirrels in the park come up to me and they take like little seeds.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I just feel like such a Disney princess in that moment, and I'm just like, I'm connecting with you, like I feel your energy.
A
um
100%.
so I mean the photo I mean I'm gonna put it up on the screen while I'm editing, but I don't think I've seen this photo. But did you get a picture of this sheep with her, her mom or anything like that? Yeah.
I have it on Instagram. I'll try and find it real quick. So yeah, that to me is magic. Just nature and wild animals. I wish, like for example, bears and wolves were not aggressive, where like they could potentially kill you. Because I think it would be so amazing to just walk amongst bears and stuff, man. But I
Hmm.
mean, there you go, right?
That's such an amazing answer. I love that, and I think that anyone that watches this will find themselves asking the same question. So if anyone's watching this interview and you like any of the questions that I'm asking, please comment your answers down below, because I would really like to see
Yeah.
what people think, because everyone has a different answer. I mean, I asked someone that question last week when I was kind of prepping for this interview, and they said, "Oh, I think technology is amazing," or someone else said, "When you watch movies after they've been like made and they've got like the CGI and like someone was talking to me about Avatar, and they were just like, for its time when that film came out, that was so amazing, just the way that it looked, and the way that they were able to do motion capture, and it's like magic when you watch stuff like that, and I think
Yeah.
stuff like that with film or photography as well. um it's the same thing, and I love asking that because everybody else's answers are completely different. But I'll remember your answer the most because it's the most kind of relatable to me, plus that photograph is so stinking cute.
It is. I'll send you the other one. It's amazing. But yeah, man.
Awesome. How are you feeling? Are these you feeling like you like these questions?
Oh, they're so random. I love it. Yeah, I love these kind of questions. I always ask people these questions, so
Yeah. And now I actually get a chance to sit down and ask without it being like, right, I have to go, or oh, like I don't know you. I can just sit down and we can talk about it,
exactly.
hash it
Hell
out.
yeah.
What's next? I've lost my place. Oh, okay. Okay. What is one movie that you hate that everybody else loves?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, okay, I've got a good one. I've got a good one for you. Um, there are quite a few. It's like a particular genre, but like Avengers and like all those superhero kind of. I just don't like those films. I just never have. Um, I
Universal.
mean, there are a few which I might sit and watch. I like Iron Man. I mean, I say I like if it's on TV and there's nothing else to watch, because I like Robert Downey Jr. So I'll watch it. But I just like what's that movie where there's that little tree that talks? I can't remember.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians, like stuff like that. I cannot. I went with my friend to watch Marvel Endgame. I think it was the one where all of them were together. I can't remember which one that was. And I had to go and watch it with him just because he always comes with me to watch films that I want. So he used that card on me for this film, and I just sat there and I was just like, I was like, nah, man, I can't. I just don't like these films. I'm a very like for example, my favorite film is The Social Network. So that's the kind of films that I like drama, David Fincher vibes, just drama. And I also really like action films, like anything with guns and explosions and stuff. And slasher films. I really like a good slasher film. But when it comes to like the Marvel thing, even Spider-Man, not really a fan of that. I love the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. So that for me was just, oh my god, amazing. But I recently just finished all of Liam Neeson's films.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I read almost all of them. I mean, they're all pretty much the same, right? He's saving something, or he's saving the world, he's saving a person, whether he's in a truck in the desert, or he's in in Antarctica or whatever. He's saving someone's life. But it always involves action, explosions, crashes, guns. So I like that. But it's just like those superhero films, don't like them, and everyone loves them.
I'm the same. I'm not too. I loved Iron Man. Like when that first came out, I remember going to see it with my family and I loved it. But the whole Marvel, like going to the movies to see like the midnight show and thing, like it wasn't my thing, and it wasn't Cameron's
No.
thing either. But again, I think if my friends or my sisters or even Cameron had been interested, I probably would have gone. But I
Yeah.
worked at the Odeon when the last Avengers film came out, and it was enough to put me off because everyone was
Yeah.
crazy, and there was so many times I had to tell people when they were coming out, like, please don't talk about the movie because these people are waiting to go and see it, and they were like spoiling it for these people, and I was getting in trouble from my managers, and I was like, I can't
Oh,
control,
wow.
I can't control them. Like people were coming out and giving off spoilers of what happened, and I was like, oh, I hate these fucking movies. I hate these movies. They're driving me
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't know. There's no reason for me not to like them either because the CGI is fantastic and everything about it's so good. But I think it's just so like beyond realistic that for me I just can't connect with it because I'm like, when honestly, when is a superhero gonna come into Earth and be able to fly and all this? It's just impossible. And I'm just like, I can't connect with this on any level. And for me, I think I have to have some form of connection. I love, for example, Jake Gyllenhaal films, because most of them are all action based, you know, like End of Game where he plays a cop. And it's a really good film. You should watch it. He go like it's him and his partner, and they're in California, and they're like, you know, they're like they have to patrol like the ghetto, I guess you could say, and they get trapped in this ghetto. And dude, oh my god, it's so good. And that's just so real because it actually happens where I'm like, man, I can connect with this, you know. So yeah, even horror films, like it has to be it has to be a horror film where there's no monsters involved. As soon as a monster comes up, I'm like, dude, you've ruined it. So for example, The Exorcist, the first one, amazing because there's no monster, you know, it's like a paranormal thing. Paranormal Activity was amazing. Blair Witch Project, I remember when that first came out. I actually have a really cool story to tell you. I don't know how long these
Oh, go,
I don't know if you
go
have a
for it.
time limit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was studying media studies in school, and it was the first so my class was the first class to actually get introduced to this course. So my final project was kind of like a mixture of Blair Witch Project meets Paranormal Activity. And I was like, okay, because everyone in my class was either doing like a romantic kind of film where, you know, boy and girl falls in love, whatever, or they're doing like a horror film where it's like a serial killer coming after them. And I was like, man, I don't want to do this kind of stuff. I want to do something a bit different. So I was like, I'm gonna do like a found footage type thing where it's like so it was basically there was this abandoned mansion. For those of you who don't know, I'm originally from the Middle East. So there was this abandoned mansion, right? So I was like, okay, I'm good, we're gonna do it there. So what I did was I got two of my friends to go to the mansion like half an hour before we went. Okay. So then I got four friends. One of them was in on it, so he was with me, and then the other three people, it was Melanie, it was Nithal, and it might have actually just been them three.
Okay.
So we went to the house, and I told my friend Leon that two of my other friends were going to be there. They're going to start making noises, right? But then my other two friends had no idea. So we go in there, and we do like a recce around the house, and Melanie and Nathal were like very like they were overacting. Oh, I'm scared, like that. And I was like, you just wait, you just wait. So we go in, we do like a 10-minute recce kind of thing, and then I was like, okay, we'll go to like one more section of the house, and then we'll just like act like we're scared and everything. Yeah, they're like, okay, we can do that. So we sit down, and I say the word, right? Because I told two of my friends, I'm gonna say a word. As soon as I say it, wait 2 minutes and start making noises. So I say the word, and I was like, all right, guys, let's go, which was the word. So we get up, we start walking, then all of a sudden you start hearing stones like being thrown out of the house and like chain rattling. And two of my friends, Melanie and Nathal, start getting so scared. They were like, my friend Mel, she actually lives in Glasgow. She starts crying. She is like actually tears, like she was full on in fear, and it was the best. And I got nominated. I won an award for best editor, and I got nominated for best project, and it was amazing. And it's because you don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a scary thing. So that's why with like horror films, I prefer when you don't see the monster, because it's just a lot more scarier, you know? So yeah, sorry, I went off a little bit, but there you go.
That is so. I love that story, but it's also so evil. But I love that you like pranking people, and I think that's one of the best ways to do it when they're to try and get them when they're scared.
Totally.
Yeah, I remember my mum showing me Blair Witch Project, and it was the first found footage film I'd ever seen. I think I was
Yep.
when I saw it. And my mum, when the film finished, said, "You know, they never found those people. Like, they
Yeah.
never found them." And me and my sisters at the same time just started crying, like, "Oh my god!" Like crying. And she let this go on for about a day or a day and a half, because we watched it before bedtime. And then she told us in the morning, it's not real, because we were so young, we didn't know that we could Google things or like check it out.
Totally.
Actors.
Yeah.
Plus, the start of the film was like, three filmmakers went into the woods near Burkittsville or wherever, and a year later their footage was fine. And it's just like, it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. But what I love about that film the most, and I think you'll agree, is the fact that you don't see this Blair Witch.
Nope.
It's all in your
No,
head.
you don't.
It looks different to anybody who watches it. It will look completely different. I always imagined her tall, kind of like Slender Man with hair, because that's how the woman in the creepy trailer described her. She was like, she got a hair all over her body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Start making up your own thing, because I find whenever you watch a movie with a monster in it, it always looks so stupid. I'm like, dude, this is more funny than it is scary. And I think the only movie that has ever gotten away with making, you know, the main character monster look scary is The Exorcist. And that, to me, till this day, sometimes when I'm having a shower and I'm like shampooing my hair, I close my eyes, I see the face, and I'm like, oh my god, and I have to open my eyes, because it just, I remember the first time I watched that film, I was like, I think 9 or 10. My dad was like, yo, come and watch this film, I think you'll find it scary. And I was like, okay. Have you ever seen the film, by the way?
I have.
Yeah.
Not allowed to watch it in my house because my mum saw it as a child, and it's just one of those things, like, you're never allowed to watch it or even talk about it in this house. So I have watched it.
Fair enough.
On the fly.
Fair enough.
I thought it was amazing. I thought the film, for its time, was so revolutionary. Even till now, like, everything is so, it has like aged so well. And you know the scene where like she, like, the first time you see her kind of morphing, and like she's on her bed having like a fit, and then her eyes roll back and her thing, that for me was when I had like I've never experienced shock in my life like I have when I was watching that film. And I remember I went back on my chair, and I actually couldn't breathe, and I was like, what the hell is this? And that movie scarred me for, like, I swear to God, man. I read the book last year. The book is amazing. It is really much more of like a family drama. If you take away all kind of, you know, the demonic stuff, it really is just, it reads like a family drama. But I took my dad to see the play when it was in Glasgow 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was, honestly, if it ever comes around again, please go and see it, because it is even better than the film. I think because you're in the audience, it feels more real because you're there. But when we went to see it, there was a woman who was sat in the front row. We were second row from the front. Amazing seats for really good price, actually. Thanks, Griffon. And at the end, you know how there's like this kind of I'm trying to remember, but there's like this like altered thing, like this kind of demonic statue that the priest brings or something like that.
Yep.
At the end of the play, they break it in half, and that's kind of like they've broken the kind of demonic or whatever. A piece of the prop flew out into the audience and walloped this woman in the front row, and she jumped up screaming and ran out of the theatre. And hilarious, funny thing, because it ruined the illusion for us that we were, you know, in a theatre. And this she ran out, and then God love her, she came back at the end, and when the curtain went down, prop master comes out and he's looking for the piece that went out into the audience. Like, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't believe that happened. And she's having the freaked out. I swear to God, it was this. I felt so bad for this woman.
I probably get scared as well, man, because I believe in all that, like, you know, paranormal stuff, demonic and everything. We have like a town where I'm from where it's presumably haunted, and there's been so many crazy stories. It's like very well known to be like, you know, very, very haunted. So I remember I actually took Rebecca there last time when we went, and I scared her so much. We went to the town, and it was during the daytime, and we were like in this dirt area, and there were just like these bottles that were on the floor, and she was like, "What are these bottles?" I was like, and she starts messing around with them, right? And I was like, "Did you touch that?" And she's like, "Yeah, why?" And I was like, "You touched the bottles?" And she goes, "Yeah, why?" And
On.
I was like, "Dude, people do like black magic on that, and you basically like release the spirits and everything." And I didn't tell her it was a joke till like we got back home at nighttime, and she was worried in the car. And when we got back to like the house, she was so scared. And I was like, "Dude, I'm talking about a lot of crap. Those bottles, people were just drinking, obviously, and they just, you know, threw the Coca-Cola bottles on the floors." But that area is actually like really haunted. Like a lot of black magic and stuff happens there. So I believe in all that kind of stuff, which is I think why I get so scared watching it. But yeah, there you go. Forgot what the question was.
I don't even remember what the question was. Sorry, I keep checking on my levels. What's a movie that you hate that everyone else loves, and then we turn this into a whole.
There we go.
So there you go. I think your answer was like all the Marvel Avengers type.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Nice.
Nice one. Oh my God. Where is it that you're from? I know you're from the Middle East, but where exactly?
Yeah. So I'm from a country called Oman, which basically borders the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. So we're on the coast. So it's the second biggest country in the Gulf. So the Gulf so the GCC makes up like a few countries: Saudi, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE. I think maybe Yemen as well. So that's where I'm from. Yeah. So it's in the Middle East. So we have sand, beaches. We have a lot of tropical areas as well. So yeah, that's where I'm from. I was born there. I lived there till I was 18. Then I came here to study, and then I ended up staying here. But I'm actually moving back in September.
God, you're kidding.
Yeah, 18th of September. So I'm gonna go there for a couple of years, just to kind of like, you know, vibe over there for a bit, because I haven't been back for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have a few passion projects that I want to do over there. So I'm gonna do them while I can. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where I'm from.
It's amazing. And I've seen I mean, I think it's the same place, but I'm pretty sure I've seen photographs of you while you're there, or photos that you've taken of the place. And
Yep.
it does have
Mhm.
different kind of setting tones to it. So like you said, it's got some tropical parts of it. I'm one of those ignorant people that
Yeah.
when I think Middle East, I just think kind of desert, kind of sand and stuff like that. And that's just me really bad at.
Yeah.
That's just me being really ignorant with my geography. But
Well, no, to be honest, no. I wouldn't say it's an ignorant thing, because most of it is desert. Like when you go there, it is sand and desert. Until you go like down south, where like the tropical stuff happens, but like that's like a 10-hour drive down. But the majority of it is really just like desert and beaches. So to the right is the beaches, and then to the left is the desert. So it's pretty much spot on, yeah.
So the question I was going to ask you after that was what got you into photography, but we've already kind of discussed that like at the start and stuff like
Pretty
that.
much.
I want to know what advice you would give to an aspiring photographer or filmmaker, because I know that there are going to be people that watch this that like your work. So this
Yeah.
is the moment to talk directly to those people and just give them your pearls of wisdom. Just fire them out.
Honestly, like I would say go on YouTube, learn. You don't have to go to college. I never did. Buy a camera. You know, I would say do quite a lot of research. So go on YouTube, find out, you know, what camera people use, and, you know, the reason why they use the cameras as well, because there are many reasons why people use specific cameras. So I use a Sony because It's a mirrorless camera, which means it's smaller, and it's lighter as well, and it does very well in low light. So obviously, if I want to do video in low light conditions, it's suitable for that. And I would then say buy a camera, buy a cheap one. Don't buy a very expensive one, because what you'll find a lot of times with most people is that they'll buy a really expensive camera. A month later, they're just not into it anymore, and you've wasted a couple grand, because it's very expensive. Camera stuff is very expensive. And then I would say go out and just take photos, do videos. Don't don't message people asking, hey, can I come and shadow you and this and that, because most of the time they'll say yeah, but then they'll forget, and then you're spending most of your time at home waiting for these people when you can just go out and do it. So when I started doing music videos, instead of shadowing a director or whatever, I just I went on YouTube, found out how to like make a video. Then I just started messaging rappers, and I was like, yo, I'll make you a video for free. And I did that for like a year, and I just learned everything myself. So I kind of skipped all those steps, and I just started doing it myself. So I'd say, honestly, just go out, do it, make mistakes. I made, even till today, I make so many mistakes when I do video or when I do photos, but it's all part of the learning process. And I would also say, don't copy people. There's no point in asking people, hey, what settings do you use? What this, what that? Because you're never going to get the same results as they are. It's just one of those things, because it's all about lighting, the weather conditions, where you are as well. Like someone's going to ask me who lives in Switzerland, hey, how do you get those tones for like a photo that I've taken in the desert? It's not going to happen. So I'd say go out and have your own look, have your own identity when it comes to editing, when it comes to photos, so that when people look at your photos, they go, hey, that's this person's photos. Because like a lot of people say to me, they're like, whenever we see a photo, like we know it's like an Omar photo because of the way it's edited, the way it's taken. There's like a specific style to it. So take your time and just have patience as well, because it takes a while to develop a style. I mean, I've taken photos for like 6-7 years, and only like the past 3 years, that's when I've figured that's when I found out, oh, that's the kind of vibe that I like, and that's how I do this and that. So it takes a long time, but just go out and do it and have fun doing it too. There are times when you're going to get crap photos. There are times when you're going to get amazing photos. It just happens, Don't be too hard on yourself either.
I think that's a really nice way to end this interview, with a nice positive message.
Oh yeah.
That are watching, and I think it's good advice to say, like, don't copy other people, because if you compare directors, for example, you can just tell with certain movies, oh, you can just tell like that's a Scorsese film because it has this element to it, or oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a James Cameron flick because it's
Yeah.
hours long, or
Totally.
by all means, I think you could say take inspiration from people that you look up to.
Yeah.
But you may end up creating something that no one else is doing.
Totally.
Someone might want to take inspiration from what you're doing and run with that. I think that human beings are so creative, and we're coming up with so many amazing ideas. I mean, you look at the world around us, we've invented so many amazing things, and
Mm-hmm.
I think photography is it's really about, I don't know, I mean, I've never taken a photography course, and I know you haven't either, but for me it's all about like communicating and people and or objects, and just getting the best of people. I don't know, I think that's the best way
Yeah.
to describe my photos, especially, is that you captured such an aura of just happiness the day you took our photographs, and that's something that can't be faked. And I think that what you do is brilliant, and I think that you're so talented. And I'm
Thank you, man.
really glad to have you on the show today. I've really enjoyed having you on here, having a chin wag and going off on an amazing tangent about scary movies. That's my favorite thing in the world. I love Scream. That's like my favorite scary movie in the entire
That's a
world.
good one.
That was my first. I went all the way to London to meet Matthew Lillard, just to be able to tell him that I love.
He's so nice.
He's very.
I've never met him, but he just seems like such a nice person.
Yeah. Everyone else was dressed up as the Scooby Doo gang, and when
Yeah.
Cameron and I were deciding what to go as, I said, "Oh, we have to go as Sydney and Billy from Scream, because if we know, he'll know who we are." And no one knew who we were the whole time. And then we got there, and Matthew was just like, "Oh my god, I know who you guys are!" And I was like, "Yes." I felt he'd won Comic Con, because I was like, "Yeah, he knows who we are." But no, he's very
That's
tall
awesome.
as well. Very tall guy.
Yeah,
Really nice. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's cool.
So that brings us to the end of another episode. This was so much fun, and I'll have to pick this microphone up again to look to this camera. But Omar, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for giving up your time to be a guest on my show. I hear my dog.
Pleasure.
I hear her. Sorry, we were just talking off camera, but my dog, she's scratching at my door. Suki, I'm gonna knock you out. Stop it. I'm not gonna knock my dog out. Please don't call the RSPC on me. I love my dogs. But thank you so much for being here, and if you could just let people know where to find you on social media, that would be great.
Cool. I'm on Instagram, so just Omar Al-Zidjali. I'm pretty sure you'll find it on the links. Yeah, I'm TikTok as well. I've started TikTok now, so I'm trying to go viral on that. Hasn't happened yet, but yeah, I'm on there just doing like usually behind the scenes, like for like filmmaking photos, like how I got the shot and everything. So yeah, TikTok, same Omar Al-Zidjali. Not many people have that name, so it's very easy to get it on social media. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you very soon, I'm sure, hopefully before you leave to go back home. Take care.